You see, we are online.
We're on the air.
Okay, we are on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, I call this meeting to order. Today is the 3rd of March already. We thought it was a new year, and it is just scrambling past us. So, that's very important. Thank you for reminding us. Please make your cell phones a little on the quiet side so we don't get... Very well. Today is the 3rd of March. Beautiful day in Laguna Woods. And this meeting is called to order. We need to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Pachela.
Please rise. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
God bless us.
Thank you.
Really cute today.
Well, let's make sure that we have any media. We acknowledge them. Are they in the room? They're probably prowling around somewhere in the clouds. So, thank you for covering us, and please make sure you give us the correct information. What else is next? The agenda. Okay, before we approve the agenda, I would like to pull the committee assignments of the consent calendar, and we will review that later. So tell us where we would put it, at what number?
I believe we would have it under 12G and under new business.
12G then. So committee assignments move to 12G. Okay, so with that, yes, Director.
I'll make the motion then to approve the agenda so amended.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. If there is no objection, then the agenda is approved. I'd like to bring to your attention, the board, that this is a mighty long agenda. The more you talk, the longer we stay. I'm not going to be your school teacher to tell you, please stop talking. You are responsible and in your own way. So let's have a great meeting. That's all I can say. Report of the... chair remarks.
No, I
Okay.
think approval
Approve the
of
minutes.
previous minutes.
Oh, previous
We haven't
minutes?
approved previous minutes
Okay,
yet.
we haven't done that. All right. We have a few from the past, so let's approve the previous minutes. Do we have any objection?
I so move. Can we
Okay.
move them all in one? Okay, so
Okay.
Second it.
5A, B, and C, I move.
Jeannie and...
Second it.
Thank you, Director Rosa. Approved. No objection, then this is approved too. All right. I have a few things to talk, few very short things to talk about. So, not that. I had my papers over here. All right. Yeah, here it is. So this month, I want to concentrate mainly on safety. Safety for all of us in many different ways. Number one, I've found that people are racing up and down the car park over here and trying to beat you when you're trying to park in a parking spot. It's happened to me at least twice, probably 3 times. And I don't know what the rush is. Before I get into a parking spot, they want to pass me. So that's number one. I also want to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe in your house, cooking, and all the other stuff. So that's number one. And besides Safety, that's very important to think about, but also keep having fun. Last month was Valentine's Day, this month is St. Patrick's Day. We do have an event coming up. There are flyers all over the place. Recreation is putting up a good event, so make sure you attend it and do fun stuff. We are here to have fun stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So enjoy.
500 pages. Sorry.
We committed that. Yeah, so we are going to do the 500-page agenda, but talking to generally all the people in the village, have fun. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to sure, the CEO's report. You have something special for us today?
I do. Thank you, President Vada, members of the board, and our audience. In recognition of March being National Social Work Month, I wanted to take a few minutes to just explain what we have available to our residents in terms of assistance through our social services division. Again, March is National Social Work Month, and the theme of the month is Social Workers Uplift, Defend, and Transform, which honors the prime mission of the social work profession, which is to enhance human well-being, meet basic human needs of all people, and put special attention on needs and empowerment of vulnerable people. BMS Social Services has been serving Laguna Woods Village since 1972, and its mission is to help village residents maintain independence and enhance their quality of life. On the next slide, please. This outlines the services available to all of our residents. Social Services has social workers available for short-term counseling, long-term care planning, and resource referrals. Please contact Social Services if you are grieving the loss of a loved one, caring for an ill or aging relative, coping with a life-changing diagnosis, making long-term care arrangements, feeling overwhelmed or stressed, in need of assistance within your home. On the next slide is a brochure highlighting all the services offered by Social Services. I just want to mention a couple that I didn't already mention, which include support groups focused on issues such as caregiver support, bereavement, healthy aging, women's issues, anxiety, and mindfulness. There's also social isolation prevention and a cognitive health program. There's an upcoming workshop hosted by Social Services. It's called Planning for What If. This is going to take place on Wednesday, March 25th. If you could switch to the next slide, please. At 2 p.m. in Clubhouse 7 Main Lounge. There are no reservations needed. The purpose of the workshop is to protect your health, money, and dignity. Topics include what incapacity means and why it matters, essential legal documents, and steps to prevent family stress, financial disruption, and unnecessary court involvement. Again, the date is Wednesday, March 25th, getting ahead of myself, at 2 p.m. in the Clubhouse 7 Main Lounge. The presenter is Faye Blix. She's an elder law attorney here in the local area, and it's hosted by Social Services. Information is available at 949-597-4267. I also want to highlight two important relationships that Social Services has, beginning with the Council on Aging, Southern California. This partnership allows the division to have an additional social worker on staff, providing direct services to village residents at no cost to the village. The social worker delivers programming designed to identify and address physical, mental, and environmental health barriers experienced by older adults in Laguna Woods Village. And most importantly is the partnership with the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village. The foundation partners with Social Services to provide temporary emergency financial assistance to qualifying residents of our community, and is partnering with BMS to help residents prepare for the possibility of emergencies. Topics include the importance of having a go bag ready, how to access emergency alert systems, how to use your smartphones during an emergency. And lastly, to contact Social Services, you can drop in at the community center. Their office is located just down the hallway in the lobby. The telephone number is 949-597-4267. You can go to the village website at the address listed, or again, just come in as another option. All contacts and services are confidential. No information is disclosed to anyone not directly involved in your care without written or verbal permission or as required by law. So again, confidentiality is at the forefront, and please take advantage of the services if you are in need or know someone in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Siobhan. Martin?
Hi, thank you, Siobhan. Three things. One, I had social service and Chuck Holland run a report on the centenarians that are living, and I think the data is a great database that they have, but the numbers are a bit skewed that we don't have, like 108 centenarians that live in Laguna Woods, and I don't think that number is accurate, but at any rate, it's a great software, though, that we have now working in. Second, what was the second? Oh, the what if is there's no, they're not going to get into like financial investment things. It's nothing like that, right? They said about money, but
It's telling you how to prepare yourself for the future.
Okay. And the last thing is about that broadband power outage that we had, the Edison power outage we had. I know that you don't have anything, but if you could get back to, I know that the transfer switch didn't work, which the generator didn't kick in service, batteries died, and we were down for like 12 hours. Just make sure that they when they test the generator, that they're testing at the transfer switch, that loose power, make sure the transfer switch is kicking on the generator.
We're well aware of that, and
All
that's
right.
being done.
I'm just like reiterating.
And
Thank
just in terms of the database, again, our information is good as the members provide us.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, madam.
Thank you, Siobhan. One of the things that I would like to stress to anyone out there is that the people who may need social services may not realize they need social services. You, as their neighbor, as their friend, I remember I had a mother who was aging in place. I was the one who had to realize that she was not capable of aging in place. We see things in their behavior and that they may not see. So you're not doing them a favor if you don't call social services and suggest that maybe there's a welfare call or something that goes out. Because like I said, the people who probably need it the most are the ones who don't realize that they actually need it. So be a good neighbor and a friend.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Next item is open forum. This is a time for our members to come and talk to us and let us know what want us to know. It's 3 minutes per person. Please have your cards filled out. I'm not going to read this whole long paragraph. If somebody
Be
would
brief,
like.
be nice.
That's all. All right. So we have anybody listed?
Yes, we have several in-person open forum speakers. The first is Chris Collins, and then following will be Juanita Skillman.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q. This is perfect. We've had so much emphasis on
Good
social
morning.
services because working with the foundation for the years that I have, it's really interesting. There's so many people that really don't realize that we have access to that here. And that's one of many unique things about Laguna Woods Village. So anyway, I'm here with an update on the work that is being done by the foundation on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. You are not alone. Have you ever wondered what happens when a neighbor in the village quietly runs out of money? When the dentist bill arrives, when the electric bill spikes, when a fall turns into weeks of home care? Too many residents think that they're on their own. They are not. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is here to help to make sure no village resident has to face a crisis alone. Yet, even after almost 29 years, many people still confuse the foundation of Laguna Woods Village with the Golden Rain Foundation. And of course, this is the Golden Rain Foundation meeting. So we are not the same. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is here to help to make no village resident has to face a crisis alone. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is a separate nonprofit charity a federally recognized 501c3, which was created by the village residents to help other village residents. It's not run by the village management nor a part of village governance. It's simply neighbors helping neighbors. So here's some of the things that we can help with. So the foundation steps in when real life gets hard. It can help pay for electric bills, doctor and dentist care, prescription medications, caregiver, respite services, ambulance contracts, earthquake emergency kits, emergency response devices for fall-prone residents, hearing aids for those who cannot afford them, grocery cards, gas cards, transportation to the food pantry, and Alzheimer's daycare scholarships. These are not extras. These are the basics that keep people safe and healthy. The foundation assistance is for residents who are facing a temporary crisis, a financial emergency that makes it hard to get through the month. That might be a serious illness, a fall or injury, a sudden loss of income, a spouse's death, or a big unexpected bill. So how the process works. Everything begins with Village Social Services, which is located right here on the first floor of the community center, and the phone is 949-597-4267. A social worker will meet with you, review your situation, gather the needed documentation, and develop a plan or report. In the request for financial assistance from the foundation, your identity is never disclosed. Your privacy is protected. The foundation renews the anonymous request and it proves the foundation pays for the service directly. So if anyone is struggling, please don't wait until things get worse. And I'm out of time, so thank you for the emphasis today.
Thank you, Chris, for stopping by and giving us all this great information.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We appreciate it a lot.
Next speaker is Juanita Skillman, and then following is Ronald Rolnick.
And a lovely good morning. Isn't
Good morning.
it nice to have this wonderful sunshine? I'm here on behalf of your village library, one of our best amenities. And I like to keep you up from month to month on how we're doing and maybe some of the things that you or the residents that are watching today don't know about the library. Volunteers worked 655 hours to support 1,946 residents who visited the village library in January. 2,438 items were circulated through the front desk, and 34 residents were added to the catalog application that we have. Many people don't know. I know you all get these, so you have them and probably don't need them, but we have a whole section on village governance. So if you are interested in green books, your business plans, blue books, the state laws, floor plans, we have the books. I know they're online as well, but some people find it easier to see it in print. So those are just some of the many things that we have, including 2 wonderful books put out on the 25th and the 50th anniversary of Laguna Woods Village with histories about it. So if you are interested, if you have questions, if you're not sure, come and go through our research, and it will help you a lot to understand more what's going on in your village. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up is our village authors. We are so privileged here in the village. We have over 150 published authors who have books in a special section of the library. Now, we work closely with the Publishing Club, and a lot of them come to us through the Publishing Club, but we have authors that are not part of the Publishing Club. And so I want to let anybody out there, if you have a book, fiction or nonfiction, biography, autobiography, whatever, bring us a copy, inscribe it to the library, and we will put it in that special section with our village authors that we are so proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita. Appreciate it. Who's
Let's
next?
see here, Ronald Rolnick, and then following will be Mary Stone.
Good morning, everybody. In 2018, when we moved to the village, we bought a manor, and we paid the trust facilities fee. In 2024, we decided to get a new manor, so we purchased a different manor, and I was surprised when our escrow officer said we have to pay the trust facilities fee again. I looked it up and I saw that that page 22 of the third resale package indicates that as of 2022, everybody pays the trust facilities fee. Okay, not real thrilled, but that was the rule. Several months later, I saw a posting on next door, a resident indicating that there was an exception to the rule that if you sell the first manor that you had, that you will be reimbursed for the second trust facilities fee if you sell the first manor within 6 months. Well, because we were doing an extensive remodel, we were not able to sell the first manor within 6 months. I contacted somebody through resident services, a membership counselor, who said, well, that's the rule. Well, I wasn't able to find anywhere where this exception was stated in writing. Maybe my research wasn't good, but I wasn't able to find it. Well, my concern, or my complaint, if you will, is why should there be a 6-month limitation on reimbursement? It's not fair. And the second aspect is that it's not publicized anywhere, so people don't know that they can take advantage of this exception. But fundamentally, I don't see why there should be a 6-month rule. And so what I'm asking is that be modified to be fair to people who, for whatever reason, are not able to sell the first unit within 6 months. I know of several people who have gone through remodeling and are in the same situation. So that's what I wanted to make that request.
Thank you. Do we want to respond to it now or all together?
I would suggest responding after.
Sorry?
To do the response to open forum speakers after.
Okay.
For timely purposes. Yes, so next speaker is Mary Stone, and then following will be Mr. Beckett.
Mary Stone, 356C. I'm a trustee for the Laguna Woods History Center. And did you know that the History Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization? And donations made to the History Center are tax deductible. It's tax time. So as you prepare your taxes or any estate planning in the future, please add us to your list of choices for donations. I know boards are getting ready to start the budget planning for 2027, but did you know that the History Center receives no funds from GRF, United, Third, or Mutual 50? The History Center relies solely on your tax-deductible donations to collect, preserve, and present our local history. Laguna Woods organizations and clubs are invited to store their records at the History Center, where all materials are kept within national archival standards of controlled temperature and humidity. We preserve your organization's valuable records and facilitate central access. History Center collections come from people like you. You help preserve history by sharing photographs, scrapbooks, documents, and other items. We can scan your originals so that you can keep them for yourself. The History Center's website, lagunawoodshistory.org, is frequently updated with photographs, news articles, written histories, and links to other local history organizations and venues. You can also visit our YouTube channel, and we are on Facebook and Instagram. Wow. As a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization, the History Center depends on the active support of local individuals and village organizations. We are officially open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday and by appointments, but if the lights are on, come on in. This is your place for your local history. We need and appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stone. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next speaker is John Beckett, and then following is Manohar Motwani. And I do want to remind everyone in the audience that if you submitted a speaker request form and you are a leasee, we will be unable to call your name, as the only ones who can speak up at the podium are manor owners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Start the
Beck.
clock. I attended a meeting of the Select Audit Ad Hoc Committee on Friday the 13th. We got some bad news on that day from KPMG and their auditing partner, Spencer Endicott. He tells us that he did a risk assessment. He told us that we have a significant risk here in the village. And that significant risk is management override of control. And it leaves us susceptible to fraud. Management is in a unique position to perpetrate fraud because of its ability to manipulate accounting records and prepare fraudulent financial statements by overriding control. What is meant by the phrase overriding control? Well, the textbook definition of controls are the safeguards that have been built into the financial reporting system to prevent abuses. One of the ways in which an abuse can take place is, here's a story about a woman who worked for a bank. She managed to embezzle $3.2 million in 4 years by overriding controls. And here's how she did it. All documents were to be accessible to the external auditors. But Jane kept a locked cabinet next to her desk. Only she had a key. At no time was anybody allowed to do Jane's job when she was away. The general ledgers were supposed to be approved by individuals other than the person who completed the form. In order to override this control, Jane had the employees pre-sign 10 or 12 approvals. That was, and she said, oh, that's, so I won't have to buy. For a period of 2 years, there were no internal audits were issued. And when they did not, the internal auditors didn't check the employee accounts. Another thing, the managers were supposed to be reviewing these key documents, but evidently they weren't paying attention, or they weren't reading them. Because if they'd looked closely, they would have seen that Jane's bank account had far more money in it than she was earning at her job.
John, unfortunately, the time is out. Unless this is something very, very urgent that you need to
Well,
say.
it is urgent and it is important, but I'm not going to take any more of your time. I just want to alert you to this and let you know that this really does call for action.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Next speaker is Manohar Motwani, and then following is Diane Phillips.
Good morning. My
morning,
name is
Manohar.
Manohar Motwani, 3435 Bahia Blanca, West. I'm just here as part of the Good Governance Committee. We found that the rules for the auditing were not followed properly, because you are only supposed to have same auditor twice. But it seems that we have been using the same auditor multiple times, which is not according to the David Sterling rules. So all I'm saying that we need to follow these rules as said by the state. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us know.
Thank you. Next speaker is Diane Phelps, and then the last speaker following will be Charlie Prater.
Good morning. I have something much lighter to talk about. So I'm Diane Phelps, I'm 5587A, but I'm here as president of the Village Community Fund to tell you about fundraising events put on by some of the clubs that we're working with. The first is a presentation of the opera, The Yellow Wallpaper. It's this Saturday, March the 7th, from 3 to 5 in Clubhouse 7. Thanks to donations, it's free to all village residents, but space is limited, so you have to reserve a seat. You can either call 310-741-0650 or emailing ccsloanlecture@gmail.com. It's CECESLOANLECTURE@gmail.com. And it's put on by a group of residents in remembrance of a longtime village resident, C.C. Sloan. The next event is put on by the Village Reads Club. This year's Community Reads event will be held in Clubhouse 7 on April 18th. The afternoon will be filled with music and discussion of the book, The Instrumentalist by Harriet Constable. The purpose of the event is to unite residents by encouraging us all to read and discuss the same book, which in these times of divisiveness maybe gives us something in common to talk about, which is nice. The event's open again to all village residents. For more information or to reserve your $10 ticket for the event, you can email thevillagereadslwv@gmail.com, and you can also find some of their information on the Laguna Woods website. They have a web page on that. And lastly, I want to mention the Camera Club. They have 4 fundraising events planned with world-renowned master photographer and videographer Todd Gustafson. The largest event will be a presentation by Todd entitled To the Ends of the Earth. It'll be held on April 26th at Clubhouse 5. It's open to all village residents. Regular tickets are available for $30, but you can also buy a sponsor or VIP ticket package. For more information about all 4 of these amazing fundraising events with Todd and to purchase tickets, go to their website, cameraclublwv.org. Proceeds from these fundraising events will support their campaign to update the photo lab with modern equipment that everyone can use. Please consider visiting our website, villagecommunityfund.org, and making a tax-deductible donation to any or all of the 9 fundraising campaigns that we currently are working on. And we are a 501c3 charitable organization that provides support for programs, services, and facilities that enrich the lives of older adults in Laguna Woods. Thank you very much for your time.
Diane, may I request you to repeat the first item again?
It is this Saturday, March the 7th. It's the opera, The Yellow Wallpaper. It's this Saturday, 3 to 5, Clubhouse 7, and you can either call 310-741-0650 or email CECESLOANLECTURE@gmail.com because you need to reserve a seat.
And it is at Clubhouse 7.
It's at Clubhouse 7.
Thank you.
And it's free.
Final open forum speaker is Mr. Prater.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll keep it under a minute. I hear all these beautiful things that are happening, but since you have a room that is looking good here, and the board, I just want to let everybody know that Friday the 13th at the PAC Center will be the United Mutual Town Hall meeting, and we will be discussing and getting a presentation from the History Center by Director Hopkins. So it is at 2 to 4 in the afternoon, Friday the 13th. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is all for open forum speakers.
Thank you. Do we want to respond to any of these? I can say I would like to thank Chris Collins for always bringing us some good information, and also Juanita Skillman, hard work. your whole team at the library. We truly appreciate it. Next one was
Rolnick.
Ronick. I'm sorry if I misspelled or said your name wrong. I'm sure there is a way that you can talk to somebody. It's your realtor who gave you not the most current information, and I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Somebody wants to respond to that?
Can I respond?
Yes, please.
The facilities fee.
Microphone.
Use your microphone.
The facilities fee, there is a policy in regards to the facilities fee. And if you talk to the real estate department here, they can bring up that policy, which gives you the guidelines. And if you're going to listen to next door, don't depend on that information. You know, it's not always correct. But there is a policy in regards to when you can sell and when that transfer fee can be, you know, transferred to another property. But there are specific guidelines for that. And I can't quote you here, but like I said, if you talk to the real estate department here, they can bring you up that policy so that you know, what steps you can take.
Well, but I think it's a bit too late now.
He
It's already passed.
he was a bit too early.
No, it's a bit too late.
He still needs to understand
Okay.
the rules.
Understanding the rule is other than what his issue is. His issue is that he was unable to use the original trust facility fee
Right,
transfer to the new one.
right. But if he
So-
understands the rules, he can understand why the action that took place happened. That's all I can say on that. And,
Just two points.
We can't
but
have
this is
members
not.
going back and forth with
debate.
us.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't have a conversation here, but you
Right.
can give him the information if you want
Right.
to.
Okay, so that's all I have on the facilities fee, but on donations, the boards cannot donate anything, okay?
This is not about donations.
And that was another question, donating. The boards cannot donate any money. This
That
is-
was not part of it, yes.
That's not part of this.
The next one was Mary Stone.
Hey, I'm not done.
Oh, so sorry. But that point is over. I mean,
No,
okay.
now I'm talking about donations.
Okay,
Okay? And I'm basically saying that the donations, the boards cannot make donations to anything because of where we get their money. If there is donations, you would talk to Diane and the Village Community Fund, and that's why that was created, so that there are special projects that if you want to donate, you can donate, all right? So then the other subject, in regards to what John, I think his name is, we have auditors. We have auditors that oversee our finances all the time. There is no fraud, and it is monitored all the time, the monies that's being spent. You have to compliment our finance department for the wonderful job that they do. So anytime that I hear anything about fraud, it raises my blood. I'm sorry. And there is no evidence of any kind of fraud. And we do have auditors. We even have auditors that come in every single year and check all our books. And you have a private meeting, that everybody can come to review all of those finances, to make sure that our residents understand that we are following the law. So thank you.
thank you. Yes, Director Naru.
I'd like to mention to Bunny that fraud is real. You see it in the news every day. I believe we've got good books. We've got an excellent financial department here, and I'm comfortable. To John, the contract with KPMG is a 3-year contract. Next year is going to be the last year of it. This year, we didn't have to create a new contract because it existed with a duration. So in another year, we'll be looking at whether we compete that and bring a fresh set of eyes in. But I see fraud in the news so often that I won't poo-poo that the potential for fraud doesn't exist.
Okay.
You're
wanna say
going to
something?
recognize me?
Sure.
Okay. For those people that use the library, or you know where it is? You know what? Right next door is the History Center. So you can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. And go over to the library and get your books, and go over to the History Center and get the history of what has happened here. And there's nothing new. Everything is repeated here. And you can find that out at the History Center. What did you want? Yes, you're absolutely right. It's a cycle. Anyway, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. You're welcome. So I think
I have.
you
a
have
comment.
something to say, yes?
Yeah, I would like to respond to Bunny. I think clarification. I don't think Mary was coming here to ask us for money.
I know she wasn't.
I think it was just a general plea to the community for them to make personal donations. And I hope that was clear.
And that's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that she's not asking the board for money.
Yeah.
She's asking all of us individually to contribute.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was totally misunderstood.
number one and number two is to the angel on Zoom who reminded me I had toilet paper on my shoe. Thank you so much. She knows who she is, and I thank her.
All right. Manohar, thank you, and we will keep it in mind. Whatever you said was important. And the next is Diane Phelps. Diane, thank you for all the good information and great work that you and your organization do to support all our residents. Appreciate it. And lastly, Director Prater, thank you for letting us know Friday the 13th, which is a very important day for many people.
Auspicious.
Auspicious.
Auspicious day.
Actually, I was born on Friday the 13th, so it doesn't bother me. Thank you, but not this month. I was born in May, many, many years ago. I won't tell you which year. Anyway, thank you. Next item is open forum, response, and number 10, consent calendar. With that, I would like to, normally we approve everything that's in the consent calendar, but today we are going to pull item number C, update of the GRF committee assignments or committee appointments.
Yes, we already did that already.
Yeah.
We already did that? Okay, so I'm just going to say it again.
This was pulled at the beginning of the meeting during the approval agenda.
Down to 12G.
Yes, we pulled it down to 12G. So with that, we want to approve what is in the consent calendar. Do I see a response to that? Okay, thank you. Second, okay. If there's no objection,
I
then
have a discussion point.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask a question. And I know this has been done previously, but hey, this is my first time on the board, so I'm going to ask the question. I see here that we allow the city of Laguna Woods to run through the streets. We close gates, we monitor, we do everything like that, and that's wonderful. However, I do see a financial impact to us of $2,500 for the privilege of them to do so, including 16 gate ambassadors and a traffic coordinator. I'm all for community involvement, but I guess the question is, why aren't they paying us for our services?
The city?
The city.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hello. If I understood correctly, this race started back in the day as a partnership with Laguna Woods Village. So I think that's why in the beginning it began without their support. But yes, it is a City of Laguna Hills event, and it is
Laguna Hills,
something
sorry.
that we have allowed them to come through our gates, and to do that and to keep our residents safe, we have provided the security for that.
And I agree with all of that. the question I have is, why are we paying? Why isn't the city of Laguna Hills paying for the expenses that we're incurring to have them do that?
Yeah, it is something we can bring up to them and see if they're willing to do that. It's a huge event for them. I don't know any of the financial background of it, but it's something we can definitely ask them and see.
I think
if they
next year
can.
we should.
Yeah.
I mean, understanding that this year is already put to bed, but I think next year we should, number one. And number two is, what is our legal responsibility if somebody should slip and fall, trip and fall, have an accident while running through our community?
I believe that our general liability would cover that if somebody were to get hurt, but I would have to consult with our risk manager to see the details on that.
And I'm sure they all
But
sign a waiver at the beginning.
there's
So
plenty
I
of
already
waivers,
understand that
yeah.
everybody signs a waiver, but
There are
we all
special
understand
event
what the reality of it
permits.
is.
Yeah, there are quite a few permits and things that we go through with the city of Laguna Hills to make sure that they're signing off and understanding all of that.
Thank you.
I think we are a bit late for that, but yes.
No, I mean,
No, there is a process, yes.
yeah, but I'm
Sure.
saying for
There
next
is a
year,
permitting
let's
process for that.
consider this.
Yes.
Aren't the gate ambassadors already on duty? I mean, this is
Some of
not-
them, I think we do
Is
bring in.
this an additional
Yeah, we
staffing
bring in
that's
additional
required in
support
order for
and
this
traffic
event?
control.
And the coordinator?
4 hours each at holiday pay, a total of 64 hours.
Yeah, it's broken down in the.
And a traffic coordinator.
Okay. There's a gentleman in the audience. He's
Jim
got his
Ropo.
hand up, yeah. Would we like him to speak?
We don't normally do comments.
There
for
really
this time.
shouldn't be discussion during consent calendar. This should just be
Well,
one sweep.
There is.
We'll
Quick
make an
motion.
exception today.
Did we vote on
Just for, we
He-
can,
we're in discussion mode of motion, right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The motion to
approve the
accept
consent
the consent calendar.
There's no discussion on the consent calendar typically. We thought there was one quick question, and now it's evolving into discussion.
No, it's, I mean, as a courtesy, I'm going to allow Mr. Robo to talk. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. To the microphone, if you can.
Thank you.
The risk is not only to the runners. I have to tell you, for years, the signs are put on the sidewalk regarding this run, and they're pretty large metal signs, and this is very risky to people like myself who don't see. So please keep that in mind also. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, we won't do this again, but I didn't want to ignore him. All
Other than
right.
that,
So with that, there are no other objections, then our consent calendar is approved. Correct? Okay.
Yep.
So next item is unfinished business. Entertain a motion to approve the revised recreation and special events
correct.
department operating rules. Did you all sit and read, burn the candle?
Oh,
It's like
yes.
400 pages. Yeah,
Yes, we did.
okay.
It's on 27.
Sorry? Say it again?
That was a joke.
Yeah, I didn't hear it, but you can tell me later. Okay, so we are here to approve this big fat book, which is, once we finish this, I think half our agenda will be over.
Does Carmen need to read the resolution?
Yes, he's getting ready.
Over here.
Please be patient.
Now you're past it.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Here we go.
Okay,
It's in blue.
well, that's
No,
just,
that's different.
Agenda item 11A.
that's it.
Page 5 of 254.
We got it. Thank you.
Yeah, but the,
This is a cooperation of each other.
the motion is,
It is.
Do we have is there a motion out there?
We has to read the resolution first.
You're past it. It's a big item, that's why you're past it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right there.
We need to put some labels on it. Yeah. What is your case?
Oh, don't start. Please don't start.
Here, do you want my copy?
Oh, I got it, I see it, yeah.
Okay.
It was in- Okay, so I'm gonna read 254 pages.
No, no, no. I'm just gonna read the rest.
Get your coffees, guys.
Okay, resolution number 90-26,
2022-XX. Recreation and Special Events Department Operating Rules. Whereas the Golden Rain Foundation has established Recreation and Special Events Department operating rules for usage of GRS facilities, and whereas the Recreation and Special Events Department oversees the use of GRF facilities, and whereas the Community Activities Committee recommends the amendments to the Recreation and Special Events Department operating rules, and whereas on January 8th, 2026, the Community Activities Committee reviewed and recommended the approval of the Recreation and Special Events operating rules with edit included. Now therefore be it resolved, March 3, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the Recreation and Special Events operating rules with edits included, and further resolved that the resolution number 90-24-66 adopted December 3, 2024 is hereby superseded and canceled to the extent that they differ, and resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. February initial notification, your 28-day notification for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied.
Okay.
I move that we accept the resolution as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you, thank you.
Discussion.
Do we need a discussion?
Didn't you
Yes.
have some changes you wanted to make?
They're already reported. Yes. Yes, sir.
Just a quick comment, a shout out to the Recreation Department and to CAC for you guys putting this together. I mean, that's a big job, and I think it needs to show some recognition. Thank you.
Thank you. And I commend every one of you who sat and read this. I did spend a lot of time reading it.
And
Thank you.
discussed and debated,
Yes.
and yes.
Thank you. So if there are no objections, then we approve this.
We have to vote.
Do we have to vote? Oh,
We have to
online?
vote.
Okay.
We have to vote.
Then let's do that.
Mickey, can you provide your vote, please? Okay, your hand's raised, so I'll assume you are for.
That's right.
Thank you.
It might go through.
Let's see. No.
Should be on the right side.
Oh, there you are. Yes, you are. You are, right underneath me.
Okay. So, very good. It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you can put this book to rest now. Thank you very much, all of you. Okay. New business.
Disciplinary.
Disciplinary update report. Over here.
Somewhere here.
Who's going to make that? Oh,
Hi, good morning,
Hi,
GRF
Frances.
Board.
Hi.
I'm Lucilda, I'm the Compliance Supervisor, and this is Agenda Item 12A. It's a summary of items that the Compliance Division addresses for GRF, which is delinquencies. 28 delinquencies are unpaid golf fine, or fees, fees for the garden center, or fees for broadband. That's the delinquencies. And we are at 28, but we seem to bring those into compliance relatively quick. And then we have garden center items and recreation facility items as well. Does the board have any questions?
Please.
yes, go ahead.
What's going on in the garden center?
So it's,
6, jumps from 1 to 6.
it's actually pretty normal just because we're entering the spring season, so members are getting out there, and we're just making sure that everybody is starting on a beautiful path to growing their gardens and whatnot. Some people might just be bringing stuff to get started and then take a break for whatever reason, and we have to remind them, hey, please keep moving along, and let's make your garden center available for growing, essentially. So it's just part of the process. It's the cycle we go through with garden centers.
So they're bringing stuff in but not planting it?
Yes,
What-
they're just
okay.
preparing for like the perfect time to do it.
Okay.
And then we just have to remind them, hey, the perfect time's now. Let's get it in the ground.
Okay.
Anybody else?
See that one either.
I have one question, and that is, we've never seen this in the open section. So what made this change?
We did.
I think we did.
The board did, yes.
When did you
I've been
do that?
advised.
Last closed session.
At your
was
last,
probably not
yeah,
present.
at your last closed session meeting, the board made a
I
motion
was
to
probably
move
not
this.
present.
You were.
I was? Not possible.
We said at the mutuals, this is shown during the open session. There's no reason not to show this during the open session. So we decided to show it in the open session.
Thank you.
No worries.
Maybe I was sleeping at the wheel.
That's okay. It gives me a chance to see everyone besides just the three boards for the executive members hearing. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
any other questions for me?
Not from me.
I was there.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. See you next month.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you sure?
Yes.
So I don't have to give that report at the end of the meeting, you understand that?
Thank
Well,
you.
no, you're vehicles. You're the vehicle committee. You're the,
No, she's on the
they don't stop at stop
compliance
sign committee.
the hearings.
She is. She's vehicles.
Compliance and traffic.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we done. Okay, we had a laugh about it anyway. Okay, so next item is 12B. Entertain a motion to approve combination of Route 5 and 6 into Route 3 and add the Arbor Transportation Route March initial notification, 28-day notification for this item. Thank you, Jose, for being here.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today. Just wanted to talk a little bit about our bus transportation system. As many of you know, in February, we held a little bit of an open house and invited all boards and all directors to come in and to take a look at our buses. We gave the grand overview and then let everyone get onto the buses. And what was great was, and thank you, by the way, the ones that made it, thank you for doing that. But what was great is that the feedback at the end of it was everyone talked about the amount of service that is provided to the residents, that bus drivers are really out there trying to provide as much service as possible. And that was very uplifting, so we invite you to the next one, because that won't be the last time we have it. But service is exactly what this particular resolution is about. We have an opportunity here to provide even more service to our residents. We're going to be expanding our routes, or assuming that you approve it, we would expand the routes to go into the Arbor Center and giving residents that much more. And what's great about all this is that we get to do it all for the price that's already included. So we're not, for the first time, I think, I'm here not asking you for money. All we're doing is getting your okay to change the service around. The way we were able to accomplish that is we were able to take routes 5 and 6 and combine them together. As we were able to do that, we were still continuing to provide those people that live in gates 1, 2, and 3 area the same amount of service. And this way, we'll also be able to go across the street to the Arbor. I got the opportunity to ride along yesterday as we were doing some preliminary test routes. And man, as soon as you go over there, it kind of opens your eyes a little bit more to everything that's over there. So it would really open up a lot more to our residents. So we're very excited about it. I know that there's a lot of chatter out there amongst the users. Anyway, happy to take any questions that you may have.
I was impressed with the survey. Was that done on the new software, the ERP system?
It was not. It was just
It
being
looks
honest here
like
with
it.
you. What we wanted to do is we wanted to target the actual users of it. So we have about 500 unique users a month that ride the buses, and about a quarter of them responded, which was great.
That's pretty good.
And so what we did is we had paper surveys there inside the buses to make sure that we were still providing an adequate amount of service and to see what everyone's preference was. And overwhelmingly, overwhelmingly 63%, given 4 different choices, voted for this route. So there's a lot of chatter out there. Everyone's very excited.
Stole my thunder.
All right. So next would be, we should have done this before, then we
Read the resolution.
Read
Yes.
resolution?
So before we read the resolution, or do you want to read whether we,
No, you want to
Gave
read?
the staff report.
Here to get,
Okay.
and the, yeah,
We
read
can read
the
the
okay,
resolution.
read the resolution.
Resolution number
The next one.
number 90-26-XX, combine routes 5 and 6 into Route 3 and add Arbor Transportation Route. Whereas the General Services Department is responsible for the fixed route service, also known as the Easy Rider, which provides transportation for residents through neighborhood fixed routes and commercial fixed routes. And whereas on December 3rd, 2025, the combination of bus route number 5 and bus route number 6 into a single route is to be designated as bus route number 3. This consolidation was implemented to maintain service levels while addressing staff shortages. And whereas on December 3rd, 2025, the Mobility and Vehicles Committee instructed staff to conduct a survey with fixed route riders, giving them several options to choose from. And whereas on February 4, 2026, the Mobility and Vehicles Committee reviewed the results of the surveys that showed 63% of respondents preferred to establish commercial Route 3 with service to Arbor. And whereas on February 4, 2026, the Mobility and Vehicles Committee recommended the board approve permanently combining routes number 5 and number 6 into Route 3 and adding new Arbor route. Now therefore be it resolved on April 7, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the combination of routes 5 and 6 into Route 3 and the addition of the Arbor route. And resolve further that officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. The March initial notification should the board endorse the proposed revisions, staff recommends that a motion be made and seconded to accept the resolution and allow discussion to ensure that the resolution reads to the satisfaction of the board. Staff then recommends that the board member postpones the resolution to the next available board meeting no less than 28 days from the postponement to comply with Civil Code 4360.
Martin?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a recommendation or a motion to approve this resolution, please.
I second.
Thank you. If there's, you still want a discussion? We already,
I don't know if it's going to save $62,000.
When you're-
What discussion do we need?
When you're ready, we have a member comment as well.
All right, thank you.
okay. All right, then we'll take member comments.
So we have one in person and then one on Zoom. The in person is Jim Ropo.
Good morning again, everyone. Over the last year, the committee, Mobility and Vehicles Committee, has had numerous discussions about the whole transportation system. I think it was the May meeting that a room full of residents came because they were concerned that the rumor was that the bus system was going to go away. And fortunately, that's not the case. The survey, I think, clearly shows the wishes of our riders. 118 people filled out the survey form. 61, at the end of the survey form, there were several choices of what to do, whether to restore 5 and 6, whether to give the money back to GRF that's saved, whether to have Journey available at night, or whether to have the Arbor route installed. And 61 out of 118 voted for the Arbor route. Now, you might ask, why is that? Well, right now on commercial buses 1 and 2, you really have one full-service grocery store, and that's Stater Brothers. You have Aldi and you have Trader Joe's, and I think we all love Trader Joe's. But I have been told, and I don't have proof of this yet, but that Aldi will not give you a staff member to help you go through the grocery store if you're visually impaired. So if you can't see the products, you can't read the labels, why would you go to Aldi? So that's not a good choice. The Arbor route provides numerous other options for people to shop, and not just Stater Brothers. Nothing wrong with Stater Brothers, but it's good to have choices. So I strongly recommend that we approve this and give the Arbor route a good chance to run and if it has to get tweaked somewhere down the road, we tweak it. But it appears that bus 5 and 6, the combination to bus 3, is working quite well. There were some hiccups early on, but I think it's working pretty well now. And those savings can then allow the Arbor route, which will be a great benefit to the riders. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have a Zoom speaker, Gary Durst.
Is he online?
Hello.
Hi, Gary.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. A little louder would be better.
Hi, Gary Durst, 5319A, former chair of the Mobility and Vehicles Committee. I'd like to follow up to a good extent on what John has said. I support the actions that Jose has brought forward this time, but I would like to also ask that committee that I won't be able to attend the next meeting because unless something changes, I'll be in Cuba, which might be interesting. But in those discussions that he talked about that we had last year, one of the big issues that came up was that the folks, folks who have real mobility problems can't partake of many of the social activities that happen here in the village because they happen at night and Journey is not available after 5 o'clock. So I think that's an issue that needs much more attention, and I would suggest that the way to pay for that is to look at the duplicative services that are happening between Route 1 and the commercial services. I'm still convinced, I haven't convinced Jose, but I'm still convinced that you can combine 1 and 2, freeing up a bus if you look at taking out where that Route 1 is duplicative of the commercial routes, and with the savings that you would get from that, you could extend the journey hours, at least for nights when there are major events. Thank you.
Gary, thank you so much. If you're done. Okay.
Talking about something else.
Right. So with that, we get to the point of voting for this. Are we ready to vote? Okay, team, let's vote.
Mickey, can you provide your vote?
Yes, yes vote.
Thank you. I think we just need Director Cornell's vote. Oh, and he's not in. Okay.
Just walk in the door.
John, do you want to vote or are you abstaining?
He didn't hear you. He has a little...
Yay or nay?
John?
John's a thumbs up. That's John McCain.
Okay. Okay. This passes. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Jose.
All right. Next item is C, entertain a motion to approve the request for installation of ceramic totem pole at Clubhouse 4.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Well, we haven't even read the resolution.
We need to read the resolution. It's okay. We are all ready to rock and roll.
Thank you, Jim.
Read the resolution. Read the resolution. Resolution number 90-26-XX. Request for installation of ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4.
Microphone.
Request for installation of ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4. Whereas the Laguna Woods Village Potters and Sculptors Club Totem Committee submitted a request for the installation of a ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4, and whereas the project is to be a 6-foot-tall totem composed of various sizes and ceramic shapes in a rich array of colors and finishes, creating a vibrant, eye-catching focal point that enhances the aesthetic of the clubhouse environment and is to be installed near Clubhouse 4 office. And whereas the clay has been procured by donation of the Potters and Sculptors Club, and the estimated cost for purchasing and installing the steel support, bolts, base, and concrete is approximately $500, in which there are sufficient funds in the 2026 landscape and business plan to accomplish this work. And whereas on December 11, 2024, the Landscape Committee meeting discussed allowing the art piece to be installed with the intent of rotating other artists' pieces that the area re-landscaped and provide a foundation for the ceramic totem. And whereas on December 11 in 2025, the Community Activities Committee recommended approval of this request for the installation of a ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4. And whereas on February 11, 2026, the Landscape Committee unanimously approved the recommendation to approve the Laguna Woods Village Potters and Sculptors Club Totem Committee request for the installation of a ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4. Now therefore be it resolved March 3, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approve a resolution to accept the Laguna Woods Village Potters and Sculptors Club Totem Committee request for the installation of a ceramic totem at Clubhouse 4. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
I move the resolution as stated.
Thank you.
I second it.
Thank you. Oh. Yes.
What's this look like?
Like a totem pole.
But
If
is this the picture of it?
Well, no, that's a likeness of what they're going to put up. But I
So-
think,
Annie's here.
Do we have a picture?
come on down. This is at Clubhouse 4. That's our arts and crafts
Yes.
building. Wait.
Hi there, my name's Annie at 523D. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak today. I am here on the behalf of the Potter and Sculpture Club and respectfully requesting this final approval to the installation of our totem. The piece was created collaboratively by several of our talented club members. The club generously donated the clay, glazes, and the firings to bring this project to completion. I want to acknowledge and thank them. I want to acknowledge the landscape department for also helping us to install this, and also Recreation, Jackie and Allison have been great hand-holding me through this process. The totem is actually a larger part of an initiative to have art in the woods. This is an effort to thoughtfully introduce art into our public spaces here in Laguna Woods. Public art enriches a community. It creates moments of inspiration, encourages connection, and fosters a sense of goodwill and shared pride. We see this first installation as a beginning, a model for how our many art studios can contribute to murals, mosaics, sculptures, to enhance the beauty of our village. Laguna Woods is already so rich in talent. This project simply allows the talent to become visible and to serve the community. Thank you. And I just want to say, I've been here looking at these paintings, and they inspire me and give me so much joy. And I want to see this throughout our village, to be able to represent Clubhouse 4. This is starting at Clubhouse 4, but the possibilities are incredible to how we can enhance our village with art, yes.
Do you have a picture of the totem pole?
I have pieces of it. I think you'll find it really whimsical and delightful. The first one that was made is about a frog and a princess, and it's a castle with a big heart and a princess and a frog sitting on the top, and it's so well made and delightful. It's the first one. We have
Okay.
2 more that we're getting, the process started, because we want to see this all around Clubhouse 4. We want you to come to Clubhouse 4 and know what it is, that it's an art studio. You need to get that feeling from the entire environment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, John.
I think this is a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
And having the beauty that goes along with it. My only concern, does this establish a precedent that will give us some difficulties in the future? I'm just concerned about a precedent
I want to set a precedent in a good way. I want to show we can do this and put this installation up there and show what we have.
I don't disagree with, a precedent in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm concerned about, because I think it would be lovely to have these things around. I'm concerned about somebody else wanting to come in and say, well, they could do it, why can't we?
Well, we could if they go through the process that I've been through for the last few months. They could do that too.
Okay.
But if I might, John, one of the things that happens is everything that anybody wants to do here has to come through us. And so this is getting approved because it is an art project. And that is our, Clubhouse 4 is our arts and crafts area. And that's the only reason it's getting approved for that building too, I might add.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about other precedents that might come up that, they can do it, why can't we?
We can go step by step, not step by step.
Yeah,
but-
it's approval, it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Approve
I
it
stand
as it
corrected.
comes.
I'll
One
shut
at
up.
a time. I wish we could do it all, believe me. I have visions of grandeur.
Why don't you?
John Cornell.
Yeah.
This was brought up last year, I think, at a supervisors meeting at Clubhouse 4.
From me, right?
I'm a resident of Clubhouse 4.
Great. Mm-hmm. Me too.
Well, I am of the camera club as a resident.
All right.
And I thought it was a great idea then, and I think it's a great idea now.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
I just, I'm thinking about the Totem Pole Park in Vancouver, if anybody's ever seen it. It's incredible, and if you can make it look like that, great.
Yeah, there is public art all over the world, and all of us have experienced that. You're walking down a street in a city, and there's this huge 20-foot cat that's all painted, and you just smile and feel great.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. If we have, yes.
I'm curious why we're going through the approval process when we can't see what's going in.
It is really practically finished. It takes a tremendous process from beginning to end, 3 or 4 months, and we are almost finished with that totem.
But my thing is that I'll abstain, because without a picture of it, or seeing what it is, I'm not comfortable.
We had examples of it to show what totems are all over the world. People are making totems, and we did have pictures that I provided for examples.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is this final approval or is this 28-day?
Final.
This is final, okay.
Okay. So with that, we get to the main question. Can we get to the point of voting, whatever you call it? Okay.
Thank you all very much for approving this. I think you'll all
Mickey,
be
can I
happy.
get?
Yes, I vote yes.
Thank you.
Mickey, I think Mickey is missing.
I just inputted hers.
We got 8. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I
Thank
think
you,
in the
Annie.
next 2 or 3 weeks, you'll be able to come see it and visit right by Clubhouse 4. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that, we move forward to the next item, and that is to entertain a motion to approve
Tennis court, resurfacing.
supplemental approval of the tennis court resurfacing.
I'll read the resolution. Resolution 90-26-XX, tennis court resurfacing, supplemental appropriation request. Whereas a supplemental appropriation of $67,980 from the GRF Facilities Fund to resurface 9 tennis courts has been requested. And whereas the existing tennis courts were last resurfaced in 2021, and 9 of the 10 courts should be resurfaced, and whereas this capital item was presented to the Golden Ring
Silence, please.
Board during 2026 capital plan, but was ultimately not included in the budget. And whereas on February 19, 2026, the GRF board requested that the resurfacing project be expedited to limit disruptions. Now therefore be it resolved March 3, 2026, that the board of directors of this corporation hereby approves a resolution to approve supplemental appropriation from the GRF Facilities Fund to resurface 9 tennis courts, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
I move the resolution as read.
Thank you. Anybody second?
Second that.
Thank you. E1 seconds. Is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
This board went and we inspected the tennis court like about 4 months ago, I think it was, when we did the bus.
It was last year.
Well, yeah, I know it was last year,
But it was
maybe
about
five months ago, and
It was June?
elected, because that was an item of concern, and the board then, at that point in time, elected to remove it from the capital program for 26. So this is if we approve it, it's a deviation from what was originally approved by the board.
Well, the previous board canceled this. That's the problem.
Exactly.
And we have a maintenance program for all of our recreation facilities. And so that's, in canceling it, now we have to have a special supplement to get it done and get it back on track.
It was felt at the time it wasn't needed.
Yeah, but one of the problems is when we don't do our maintenance at the right time, like now, the concrete gets cracked. Now, instead of just having to paint it, strip it and paint it, now we have to fill those cracks, reshoot it, and then paint it. That's what happens.
Well,
And when
I
we
was there
bypass
and I saw
something.
it, yeah.
When we bypass something, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I
And we need
respect
to
that.
do, and that's why it's a special
Maintenance
supplement,
is
because you
required.
canceled it. Are we going to both talk at the same time?
Well,
I can't hear
I
you.
didn't see your hand go up, mine did.
I was talking in the
Let's
beginning,
not
but,
get into a verbal conflict, but I think it is, whatever Martin is saying is important and Yvonne's saying is also important. We need to get the concrete and the painting done. And it needs to be done ASAP
yes. And,
because of reasons. I don't want to get into the details, but it needs to get done. So we have come to this point where we, in our agenda prep, we instructed staff to bring this up so we can approve it, so we can get this done and get on with it. So do I have a motion to approve it?
We already have the
We
motion.
already have.
It's now a discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it come through the CAC?
Yes, it did. The reason that we are expedite, first of all, it was laid out for a regular cycle, and Allison's here to keep me honest on this. It was approved as a part of the regular maintenance of all of our facilities. The previous board, because of financial considerations, removed it and prioritized other things. We now have a tournament that is coming up, at which 3 of the courts are going to be used out of the 9. And the question became, those are the courts that have the issues. And so the question became, can we just get those done? And then, of course, while we're there, economies of scale being as they are, why don't we just approve the entire amount to get all of them done at the same time? And that's where we are, is we are trying to expedite for the 3 of them to get them done in time for the tournament, which is in May. May. And if we approve this, that part can be done, and then the others as recreation sees fit. Did I do that correctly?
Yes, almost.
Okay, pretty much.
Just to clarify, the tennis tournament does use most of the courts at the facility, not just 3 of them.
Okay.
3 of them were identified as being in worse condition than the others. And so, yes, we do have the tournament. We also have the village games. So the timeline is very tight if we're going to meet this before, after
Thank
that
you.
event.
And while I have the floor, I think there's 2 things here. It's the old AMCO commercial, pay me now or pay me later. We're at the pay me later stage now because we didn't do it when it was scheduled to be done for all the reasons, and I'm sure there were valid reasons at the time, okay? Nobody's second guessing previous decisions that were made with the best information that they had at the time. This is now presenting to us as needing to be done. And I, for one, think that it should be done in order to facilitate all of the things that Allison just said, and to keep our amenities up that we are being paid to keep up.
So I don't have to.
I'm not being paid, sorry. Should say, clarify, we are not being paid here to keep up, but the HOA assessments are paying GRF. Let me make that perfectly clear.
You get 1 free lunch a month.
That's my payment.
So I don't have to look up the page. What's the price?
It's
$60,000.
$67,980 from GRF facility funds. Estimated.
Okay. So if we have the thing to vote over here?
Yes, I apologize. There's 2 member comments that were submitted in via email, if I may read those really quick.
Sure.
They're both pretty brief. The first one's from Teresa Kennedy, and she stated, I would like to ask that the GRF Board of Directors approve the supplemental appropriation under consideration for this item, the tennis court resurfacing. This would allow for at least some of the courts that are in the disrepair to be addressed to prevent further damage. Thank you for your consideration. And then the next one's from Ned Buckman. He stated, it is my understanding that the tennis court resurfacing project is being reevaluated. As one who has been heavily involved with court conditions over the years, particularly with respect to our hosting of the National Supper Seniors Tournament in mid-May, I offer the following observations. Since Court 7 was recently resurfaced after its use for badminton and volleyball during the Clubhouse 1 renovation, it doesn't require any attention. All the other courts were resurfaced in 2021, and the time has come to redo them before they need to be scraped off and require substantial additional work and expense. Courts 1, 2, and 5 require the most immediate attention, with the remaining needing less overall work, with possibly only the blue playing area and white lines being done. As time, washing, and use wear down the surface texture, they become a bit slippery, so the resurfaced texture needs to be restored with optimum medium grit mix. Further, it would be appreciated if a few of the tennis club board members could be part of the process going forward on the plan, since they assist with the knowledge of these pressing concerns. Thank you. And that is all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is to get to vote. So are we all set? There we go.
And then Mickey, can I get your vote?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
He's entitled. He's entitled to vote however he likes.
Okay, so I think this is approved. So let's move forward. Next item is entertain a motion to,
Oh, the pool chemicals.
the pool chemicals, okay. Appropriation for the pool chemical storage design. This is only the design, is it?
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Would you like to read it?
Resolution 90-26-XX, new pool chemicals storage design, supplemental appropriation request. Whereas the existing pool chemical storage structures at Clubhouse 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 have significant deterioration due to corrosion from the chemicals used to treat the pool water, and whereas the staff is recommending replacing the metal enclosures with a concrete foundation and concrete block walls, providing a durable, corrosion-resistant, and long-term solution that ensures safer chemical containment, and whereas a supplemental appropriation of $30,000 from the Facilities Reserve Fund is proposed to retain a licensed architect to prepare construction documents and cost estimates. And whereas on February 11, 2026, the Maintenance and Construction Committee voted unanimously to recommend the Board of Directors approve a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $30,000 from the Facilities Reserve Fund. And whereas on February 18, 2026, the Finance Committee voted unanimously to recommend that the Board of Directors approve a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $30,000 from the Facilities Reserve Fund. Now therefore be it resolved, March 3, 2026, that the Board of Directors of this corporation and hereby approves a resolution to approve a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $30,000 from the GRF Facilities Reserve Fund to retain a licensed architect to prepare the necessary construction documents and cost estimates, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
Okay.
I move.
Yes.
We gotta move it to get it on. I move it, the resolution as stated.
Anybody?
Second.
Yvonne seconds. Any discussion?
Now. Guys,
I see Guy is here. Is there a commercial off-the-shelf cabinet that is available that could be installed? I mean, why do we have to do this big design when it's just, I mean, obviously the chemicals have rusted through the finish of the existing cabinets, and I mean, isn't there something, a commercial off-the-shelf cabinet that's available?
Yeah.
So that is what was installed, and
Yeah, but is there a better one?
no, so we've looked at this. Staff has really gone through and looked at this. The best solution is to do concrete or masonry structure and limit the amount of metallics that are used, because it's the metallic that is corroding because of the muriatic acid. And the way to distribute the waste distributed from the tanks into the pump room allows for exposure, and so therefore that's why they've deteriorated. So you put in a concrete structure, you're looking at 60 to 100 years for the life expectancy.
Thank you.
I'm going to act as chair in Kush's absence, but I also have a comment, unless somebody else has a comment first, and I'll let you guys do it. John?
I have a question. The 30,000 is just for the architectural design. It's not for the purchase or installation of, okay, so where are we with that? What is going to be the cost to install and purchase and build?
That's a part of this initial step. So once we have the construction documents, that same architect's going to give us an engineer estimate of what it will cost to build them. And at that point, we'll come back to the board with a recommendation.
Okay.
It may turn out that, when we do the cost analysis, it might be better just to exchange these metal ones, every 5 years or whatever they're going to corrode. We don't know that yet until we have the cost for the actual concrete structure.
The recommendation from the okay.
Will it go out for bid for the actual building?
Correct. So once we have the construction documents, we will take that, put it in an RFP, and send it out to contractors for their bids. Prior to that, the architect should give us a pretty good idea, a ROM estimate for what it's going to cost, based on the materials that's used in the construction, cost of the day.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a little confused, Guy. I shouldn't be, but I am. Do we have a total, an estimated total cost?
No.
I know you're coming out for estimates, but do we know where we're heading as a total?
No, not until I have a design can we put cost to anything, so.
Well, how is this a supplement then? We didn't fund for doing the study, the RFP?
Right, so there is no funding for this project at all.
Oh.
And that's why we're asking that you fund the initial portion of the project.
Okay, understand.
Okay, so now I have some questions, and questions that I raised at the Maintenance Committee. The reason that you're stating that, first of all, how old are the current metallic structures?
They were installed in late 2019.
Okay, so just give everybody a frame of reference here. Okay, they were put in 2019, so they're 6 years old. 7. Well, they're going to be 7. Yes, you're right. Math is hard. Okay, so how much were they? How much did they cost?
So the initial cost that we have on our record is $203,000 was the initial cost for all of those.
5 boxes. For 5 boxes.
Well, so there was some prep work and there was some demo that needed to take place. There was some asbestos abatement of the existing structures that were there. The existing structures did not meet code, and that was the purpose for this to be initiated, to change them out. So we went to a company that specialized in chemical storage tanks like this. And so they gave us their best for this type of chemical. The issue really lies with how the chemicals were distributed to the pump room. So there was exposure, and as you know, or may not know, anything metallic that, so the muriatic acid gets in the atmosphere, and any metallics in the area will corrode. And so that's what we're dealing with. Maintenance couldn't keep up with the amount of corrosion that was happening.
Exactly, because of the way that the chemicals were being brought into the pump room at the time. Since then, we have changed the way that the chemicals are being put into the pump room. And is it a completely closed system? Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And it has a scrubber as well.
Exactly. So my point is, if we were to replace the current cabinets the way they are now, we wouldn't have to do any of the work that was involved in the initial setup of these. We would just be replacing the boxes, for lack of a better term. Is that correct?
Yes, that's partially correct, but there's a human element in all of this. And if there is any exposure because something wasn't done right, or maybe there's some other mishap, you're going to end up back basically in the same situation where you will find corrosion. So I think that's really part of our analysis, is to say, if we get rid of these metallic enclosures and use the concrete that we're proposing, then that's a non-issue.
How much would it cost to replace the metallic boxes this time around?
So just to replace the boxes, I don't have that cost, but in 19 they were...
Even though I asked you
they were
at the maintenance committee to bring that information when you presented it to the GRF board.
Yes, they were custom and they were done by a company that no longer, we tried to get a hold of them, they didn't get back to us, so I can't...
How much
give you
were
that,
they
but
at the time?
I'm going to tell you that. So at the time, they were $34,921.
There you go, $35,000.
Per container.
For how many?
5?
Well, that's just for one.
1.
That's per container?
Per container or each?
Yeah, that was
total?
per container.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I
That was
just
for the
wanted,
installation as well, because you have to bring a crane in.
Right.
You gotta, so it's not just the box itself.
Okay,
It's
so
the
that
installation of the box.
That 34 included installation?
Yes, it
Okay.
included the installation. And prior to that, like I said, the initial cost, we had to take out the existing structures that they had and get it prepared. So we had to pour concrete pad and get everything ready. So that's why it was the $203,000. So you're looking at about, with contingencies at the time, so that's the cost, $34,921 per
and how
container.
many of these do we need to do?
5.
Okay. So I want the entire board to understand what the cost would be to replace like for like. Knowing that, if we want to move ahead with the concrete. And you're back, so you may take over.
Yes. Buddy.
So I've seen these containers, and they rust out, very quickly. And so my concern is safety. And so I need to ask Guy, what would you recommend based upon the safety, of putting in the concrete rather than the metal?
So it's not so much about the structure itself. The board already approved a method of bringing in the chemicals and storing the chemicals. That was the safety factor. And so right now, we're not looking at the structure itself as being a safety item.
Anybody else? John?
The muriatic acid does not affect the concrete or the blocks in any way?
No, and on top of that, we're looking to coat that interior with an epoxy paint as well to just ensure the longevity of the facility.
John, did you have a question? Council? No? Okay.
Oh, well, I'm always want to look at the long-term costs, and you're saying that the concrete is going to last us forever, right? And then, so compared to replacing these metal ones every year,
Not every
isn't
year.
there a cost savings?
Well, that's the
No,
analysis.
Bunny. No, Bunny.
That's
It's not
the
every year.
analysis we're going to bring back. Once we know the cost of the concrete structures, then we can perform the analysis of the difference between the two. If one's going to last 60, 70 years, how many times, if we do need to replace those, would it be? And it may be less because now we're not the same exposure, so we
Correct.
might be able to add some time to that. We're going to look at all of that. This is just the initial step so that we can get a design and some costs that we can bring back to you.
Okay. Yes, John.
Finally, I remember.
One moment.
When Jean mentioned that it's now a closed system, so that the muriatic acid exposure is much less, am I correct?
Yes, it's limited to, I would say, human error. That's what it's limited to, because the way the chemicals are brought in, it's an air vacuum. There's no real exposure. There's a scrubber on the tank because it's going to expand. So that scrubber should eliminate any of the chemicals from going into the atmosphere.
So then the muriatic effect on the box should be significantly reduced, whether it's concrete or
That is
toothpicks
correct.
or
That is correct, and we want to look at that. Again, this is just so we can perform the
Okay, it's
analysis,
just a
have a
start, okay.
design in case we are ready to move in that direction.
Okay.
It's really just doing some due diligence.
Okay.
Thank you. Jim, you and
A curiosity question. The ceiling and the entrance to the concrete structure.
Yeah, so if we do, wood, fiberglass, things of that nature, those are the alternative materials that we're looking at, and that we'll be working with the architect. We're going to limit as much metallic as possible, and there's also going to be a maintenance, whether it's a metal container. So we're going to have to up our preventative maintenance so that we don't have this, problem in the future.
You can also look at the picture on page 12 or 14, where there is a ventilator kind of thing above the door and in the door, so that in case there is any fumes inside the room, it will ventilate, correct?
Yes, there is a ventilation requirement.
Yes.
And we'll follow all the codes that are applicable.
And the other thing that I found out is that just like you bring a big gasoline tank to fill up the gasoline tanks at the gas pumps, they come with a big hose and they fill your tank, so there is no...
It's a vacuum seal.
Correct.
Yes.
It's a vacuum seal, so there is nobody touching anything except the hose is kind of plugged in and it carries on. So there is a lot of safety in this, and it's recommended that we do it in this manner. Yeah. Any questions? Yes.
I believe Mickey, do you have a comment?
Yeah. Well, as a chemist, I believe that, concrete will be a lot safer than metallic container. But however, since we do not know, we have not complete the comparison of the prices for each cases. Now the risk is $30-some thousand for this container. So I mean the design here, right? So after this is done, approved, and then go with the design, and then do all the cost analysis. If we decide to just keep the current one, that we are just wasting $30,000, right?
I don't know that we're wasting it.
I mean, not wasting, but we are not going to, include this one. I mean, however, if this new proposal will be better, of course, we are saving this $30,000. I mean, so on. So I would like to, vote for this proposal.
Didn't understand.
Well, I guess she'll vote.
There's someone on Zoom, Gary Durst, has a comment as well.
Okay. But I think Director Prater had a comment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry, Director Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was on that committee, and the $30,000 cost is a big cost to this, but I think maybe part of that $30,000, when they come back with this, should have a cost of the replacement metal shed or structure that they're talking about replacing. It sounds like it's in a bubble here, okay? And the new system is, okay? The other ones are deteriorating. We know that because of manual spillage, very little risk. But I think if you're going to approve this, that they need to come back and give you a price for the replacement of just the box, the metal box, not just concrete.
Thank you.
Did you hear that, Guy?
Yes, absolutely. That's the prudent way to go, and that's a part of the analysis that we're going to perform. I have to know what the new cost is. I can't do an analysis on this older cost that we have. So we will be reaching out to other companies that provide this to get those costs so we can perform the analysis for you.
Thank you. Yes, madam.
My stumbling block is $30,000 for somebody to make a little drawing of a box and.
Use your microphone, Yvonne, please.
Yes. Everybody can hear me. So anyway, you understand what I'm saying. It's $30,000 sounds like a lot of money for somebody else to do a drawing and come back so you can do an analysis.
Yeah, that's our estimate.
Oh, okay.
That's our estimate. So what you got to understand is we have to have a licensed architect to perform the design to make it all the codes applicable for this project. It has to go through the city and it has to go through the fire authority. So all of these entities are going to require a licensed architect to provide these drawings.
And I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that it sounds like a lot of money for, and.
Everything's relative. I understand your concern. So,
that's my.
We're bringing this. It's your decision.
I don't object. I'm just saying it sounds like a lot of money.
John, I know.
You mentioned that, and I like the idea of the concrete. I like the idea of the concrete and then covering it with epoxy. Is epoxy the most resistant substance to any effects of muriatic acid? Or is there a better substance to coat it with? Or you don't know yet?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do know that the epoxy is a good approach, but we'll look for the best approach.
Okay.
Okay. If we don't have any more questions, then we can.
Yeah, we still have. Yeah.
Okay.
Gary Durst is on Zoom and he has a comment.
Okay, go ahead. Put him on.
Hello.
Yes.
My comment would be that before you authorize this $30,000 expenditure, that you look at chemical-resistant hard plastic enclosures. I know a lot of work has been done in that direction, and I think it would be prudent to check that out before you throw $30,000 away on a study that you may well not follow the recommendations. Thank you.
Gary, I think your comment is well taken, simply because the situation that is making these containers erode is no longer. And I think that's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that we've solved the problem that is causing the degradation in the current method of storage. If we can get even better and even longer with chemical-resistant hard plastic, I completely agree with you. Is there something else? My concern is, if it's going to cost us $30,000 just to do a drawing, how much are these things really going to cost us? Are we, to your point, building a Swiss watch when what we need is a Timex? That's my point.
Kush,
Yes.
$30,000 is an approximate top cost?
No,
that's-
it's a design
Just a
cost.
design.
Yeah.
Construction documents that can be submitted to the city and the fire authority.
Okay, so that's the ultimate cost.
We don't know at this time
Okay.
until we have a design.
The ultimate cost of just the design.
Yes.
I would,
Yes, sir.
you're looking at $500,000 for 5 cement enclosures like that. I'm just off the top of my head. You're looking at that kind of money. That's all I'm saying. See what else is commercial off the shelf.
We are all here to decide that same question. Yes.
I believe we have one more member comment when you're ready.
Okay, who is that?
Kathy Bravata.
Okay.
I knew we had
Kathy,
somebody from the
you're
floor.
next. Guy, just
Oh,
stand.
I'm sorry, I thought someone was online.
No, I'm here.
I was waiting to hear.
My recommendation goes along with what Martin just said, and that is, we know the size, shape, height, width, depth of the current cabinets that we have. If there is an epoxy out there, we should go out, in my opinion, take a look at the cost of one of those cabinets with the epoxy, and since the new system does have the air suction gasket, whatever, to make it as safe as possible, I think it would be better to look into the cost of that before you go into spending $30,000. And then at that point, after the designs are done, then you have to go out to bid to find out what the concrete's going to be. And if these containers are lasting 6 to 7 years, it would be prudent to take a look at the other process first, in my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Jim?
I guess I'm aiming towards Guy here. Apparently, there's a broad feeling that we need to look at alternatives. Let me start by saying that I'm not put off by $30,000. Go out and hire a handyman and see how much it costs you to do anything. No less an architect that wants $500 an hour. But the question I have, Guy, is you hear the talk about alternatives. Is that something that can be looked at in-house, or is that something that you broaden the scope of the $30,000 contract to say, we're wide open to solutions, help us find the best?
Yes, staff can begin a search to find if there's a product out there that will meet the needs for this type of distribution. We can definitely look at that. I know that there's different products out there like fiberglass. If you put a fiberglass structure, but there's always those fasteners that are involved with other structures that typically are metallic. But that's not to say we can't do something about that as well. We can look at that. We were just looking at a simple long-term solution. We know that the concrete will last you 60-plus years. We're confident in telling you that. From there, we can look at all these other alternatives. If that's what the board, is wishing us to do, then we'll do it.
You have another question?
Yes. What's your recommendation, Guy? Should we give time for your staff to do further study or expand the $30,000, not more money, but expand the scope of the $30,000 contract to do that? What's your recommendation?
I think that we can look at these. I don't know that we're going to get a guarantee from any vendor that their product is going to last X number. We can find out what that warranty period is, but with warranties, they're limited, and they always have things within the warranty that are hard to justify. But we can take a look. If this needs to be tabled, we can spend that time and just look at these other products and bring those back to you for consideration. That's also a prudent way to go. Again, our initial thought was to give you something that we felt would last 60-plus years.
Thank you. John?
I agree with Jim in that we need to explore all possibilities in-house and externally. But do I also understand that you need the architect to have, and I'm going to use the word certified documents, that you can then take and use for compliance with other state, federal, fire, whoever it may be? You need those documents from an architect in order to be able to go and get approval. Am I correct?
Not necessarily. So what we did in this case with this manufacturer of the metal structure that we're using now is we asked them to certify this through California Fire Authority and the building department. So those were extra steps, extra costs that they took on so that we could get these approved through the city and through the fire department. So the manufacturer or the vendor that was supplying those did that legwork for us.
Then why do we need to go to the architect?
Because we're looking at building a structure. So we build a structure, then we need construction documents, and we, as staff, would be the ones that would run that through the city and the fire authority.
Yeah, it's got to go through the process. Okay.
So we want to make it look like a Rolls Royce rather than a Fiat, in short, that I'm understanding.
We just want it to work for the longest period of time.
Yes, Carmen.
I like Guy's second to last idea. We have in-house experts that can research ABS and different types of plastic containers. I would imagine that today versus 10 years or 20 years ago, that the advancement of these materials could have some equipment that you can get today that meet all the guidelines of the safety requirements. I think we should look into that because the 30,000 is a drop in the bucket compared to what's going to happen. Once an architect does the plans, you're looking at $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to make maybe 5, which could be ABS boxes that you could buy and have them ship in, install, 10 years later, throw them away, get them again. It could be, it's that little tip of the iceberg. That $30,000 architect could turn into a $500,000 project that we may not need. So I like your idea. Thank you.
Okay.
Was there, did they look at fire and safety, did they look at erosion requirements that the city might have that, or does cabinet builder just disregard that?
So at the time, we were looking at a storage facility. That's what we were told we needed, was a storage facility. The issue is there's an operation that's happening within that storage. It's not strictly storage. And so therefore, the way it was being done, we did try to mitigate any exposure with these rubber gaskets and some other things that we were looking at the time to put on the containers that the employees bring in, by the way. So, it's a good thing we've gotten rid of that system. And we're going to this new one, which it looks like starting next month, we're going to be installing the rest of these at these facilities. The enclosures themselves, they're beyond repair. They definitely need to be replaced.
Oh, we need to do something.
And they have reservoirs for spillage that in a heavy rain, if we don't have something over those to protect them, if rain were to get in, you would see that it would overflow those storage
drainage.
areas. And we've experienced that as well.
Really?
So, yeah, these are things that we're looking at. We want to get rid of those factors, and is why we're bringing this to your attention. It's not just about the block or the concrete. We can look at other products that are out there. We can take the time to do that. There's no problem with that.
Okay, yes, sir.
To bring it to conclusion, and I guess that's you, of tabling it, and Guy knows what we're thinking.
That's true. And I was going to say that now, that we've got enough information from Guy and the others. I feel this is an important thing. We should not make a rough decision. And I would personally suggest that we go forward and vote our minds to get this to a good solution. I like your decision too.
So we're going to vote on.
So we're going to vote on this to tell the staff what we've decided to do.
Mickey, can I get your vote as well, please?
Can you repeat the motion again?
The motion's to approve a supplemental appropriation for pool chemical storage design.
And that's for $30,000
Yeah,
for the
that
design.
Motion itself, right? Okay, I'll vote for it, yes.
Okay, so it moves forward.
That's good.
With the understanding that you come back with other options as well when you present the design.
Yes, simultaneously, we will go out and start exploring some of these other options during this process.
So
It moved forward.
Did
It was
it
approved.
passed?
The motion passed, yes.
It passed. Okay. Thank you, Guy. So.
are we going forward?
Yes.
Yes.
So next item is number F. Entertain a motion to authorize staff to release a RFP for community center, third floor tenant improvement. Who is?
Do you want me to read this? Oh.
Is there a resolution or no? Just a staff
For me?
There is no resolution.
If I may, we're asking the board to allow staff to take the drawings that we already have, the construction documents, package those in an RFP and advertise this project so we can get construction bids. So it's just an endorsement. You'll see the endorsement on the front.
Skip.
Okay. Skip.
Yeah, because right now we're at 11:30.
Okay. All right, so did we follow what was recommended by Guy?
Okay,
Would you like me to read the recommendation?
Would be nice.
Okay.
Make it easy.
So we recommend that authorize staff to advertise a request for proposal to qualified contractors for construction of the community center third floor tenant improvement. So it's to advertise the RFP.
Okay. Did we all follow what he said? Okay. Yes, Martin. you
I'll
have-
make a motion that we accept staff's recommendation to advertise the RFP to do the third floor construction modifications that,
Do we have a second on that? Thank you. Carmen seconds. Do we want discussion or do we want to vote?
Okay, well, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you're sending, yeah, it is. When you're sending this out for RFP guy, how do you suggest keeping the current setup with the amenities that are currently up there? I mean, what is the, what layout are you giving them to include and not to include? Does that make
So,
sense?
Yeah, we do have architectural drawings for the tenant improvement, the proposed, to move the staff, or a portion of the staff from the leased spaces into this open area that's been open for quite some time. So it's only being used for storage. There's no real layout.
Okay.
This will all be new
This is not the
layout.
entire floor, this is just the open area?
Right, so
Okay.
in the packet, we tried to highlight just the area on the
That's the
third
gray
floor.
area.
Yeah, that's the
Got it,
gray area.
got it. Thank
And
you.
also, we included the RFP draft that we plan to advertise.
And again, what groups are we planning on uncovering with this potential?
So it's damage
Tenant-
restoration. I believe there's 13 employees that will come from there over to here.
Okay, and that's it, just damage restoration
Yes.
at this time with the
Yes.
22,000 square feet?
Yes.
That's a huge area.
Well, this 22,000, no. The space should be about 45, I think it's around 45 to 6. I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head. Let's see if I can break that down here.
Yeah.
It's not the entire floor. That 22,000 is the entire floor. So it's just a portion of that floor.
But this gray area is what is going to be for the,
That is correct. That's the vacant area now that's being used for storage, and that's the area that's proposed.
but that is,
well, it's only about
that's a pretty huge area for 13 people.
Okay.
Yes, John, you have a,
3,000 square feet.
huh?
It's roughly, it's in that ballpark, yeah. I would say 3 to 45, somewhere around there. I'm sorry I don't have it right in front of me to
But I
give to
see
you, but
What area,
2,500 to 3,000 square.
what area are they in now? What square footage are they in now?
so I don't
What's-
know the square footage at that building that they're occupying, to be honest. I just know that there's 13 employees.
And they're at desks? Is this pretty much an office situation?
So I believe that the majority are offices, but there will be cubicles as well in the design.
For 13 people?
Yes, it will house the supervisors, the managers, and the staff that works with them.
Then I have to agree with Martin. That seems like an awful lot of space for 13 people that are at desks.
And which department did you say? I'm sorry.
Damage
They're in
restoration.
office spaces up there, so
Which department is this going to be?
damage restoration.
Damage restoration.
And they really need it, and you should see.
That's
what they
fine.
have now.
Well, the needed-
How much money will we save by moving these 13 people over?
So we factored in $150 a day. I believe that's what we factored. If we bring them over, that's would be the savings. Because we do have LDs included in our contract. So when they don't meet, when the contractor doesn't meet the date that we need them to move from there to here, they'll be responsible for that $150 a day.
Per person?
No. Just the 150 total a day.
$150?
$150 a day, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that represents. I'm sorry.
It's part of the
Represents the lease
250,000
for the
that we're
13 people. So that represents the office spaces that those 13 people occupy now. That's what it represents on a daily.
So about $1,500 a day?
No, it's in total, 150 a day.
times.
In total.
54,000 for a
If
year.
they are late,
I don't care if they're late. What's,
Say it
his
again.
point, how much money would we be saving by moving whatever space they're in now off of our lease? Isn't that the question you wanted to know, John?
Yes.
Right.
$150 a day.
Yeah, I don't know the exact amount. I do know that we factored $150 a day So if we move them in 6 months, from that point forward, you would be saving $150 a day.
Next. Okay, Martin has a.
Yeah, I
I
can help
think,
him. Right now, we know there's, 3 departments over there, that's 250,000, 4, we're running at 250,000 a year for rent, and we're bringing over like about, well, I don't know if it's 1/4 of the staff, but, I mean, 150 a day, that's about right. For factoring in part of that savings is off of
But
that
that is the
250.
number which I think Manuel
250,000.
has. If he can bring it to us in the closed session, it will be very helpful.
Okay,
we-
so if this answers my question, 13 people times $150 a day, say $2,000 per day times 30 days.
No.
Right? Am I missing?
No,
what's the
it's
math here?
150 per day for 13 people.
Yeah.
So the space that they're renting over there for 13 people costs $150
Oh,
a
not
day.
per person. I apologize.
No.
Okay, all right, so.
It's all right.
Math.
Trying to clarify, that's all.
Thank you. Yes, John, Calsol has a.
Okay, this
54,000.
may be a stupid question, which I'm good at doing. Building E, there's been a lot of discussions about who's going where, and how does Building E factor into this, if at all?
It's
It
not.
doesn't.
It doesn't, okay.
Here. Okay, if we have finished all the questions, anybody else have questions?
Oh,
Yes, Bunny.
okay, I'll try to. The security was housing more than just security.
Yeah,
It was,
E.
it was, yeah, and so it was a housing, 2 other departments, I
Right.
understand, right?
Right.
Guy?
Pardon?
That-
It was three
Si-
departments, I
3
believe.
departments.
If you're talking Building E.
Right.
It was landscape,
And-
security, and some
Maintenance.
of the maintenance.
Right, so now all they're doing is moving 1 department up there. And we still have to think about space for security and the other department in
Okay.
the future.
Okay.
That's
Right.
different. That's
So-
a total different conversation.
Okay.
Right now,
But he wondered about, so I was.
so let's
So
take.
this department that we're talking about was not included in the Building E count.
That's a whole different
Yes,
conversation.
it's a whole different
To me
thing.
like
Yeah.
a lot of space.
So if we are done with our questions, it's time to call the,
On the vote.
answer the question in front of us. Look at the,
Mickey, can you provide your vote, please?
please can we vote, all of us?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can only vote once, Jim.
Can I just ask Jeannie to confirm the numbers?
Say it
Since
again?
She's a mathematician, because I'm lost.
You're asking me?
Yes.
What was the question?
No, you know what? Again, I misunderstood the fact that he said $150 a day. I assume that's per person. What he's saying is that's $150 per day that we would be saving
Each
off of our
department.
lease. Right? Okay.
54,000 a year.
54, so basically 54, thank you, $55,000 a year.
Director Cornell, do you mind voting on the screen in front of you?
Thank you, Lord.
John, you want to vote?
John,
John, we're waiting for you.
John, you want to vote?
please vote. Okay.
All right.
Do you
done?
just want to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down? And I can input it for you.
You didn't vote.
For some reason, it doesn't allow me.
It doesn't like
Thumbs
it.
up? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so with that, I think
We should keep moving.
we should keep moving really quickly, and
No,
it
because we're
passes.
not going to do the
So
committee. We're just going to move through.
the next and last item for today is to talk about, no, my dear, we have to do this. The committee assignments.
You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right,
So-
you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right.
So with that, I think it's a small change that we are looking for. So the only thing that is kind of coming up in my thing is that the MNC committee assignments were done by mistake. And Jim, you were assigned to be the chair, but I think that was an error by whoever wrote it. So I'm going to recommend that Yvonne Horton be the chair.
I'm sorry,
I'm
That was a
talking in the microphone.
10C.
that was a mistake.
The mistake was that somebody put your name as the maintenance and construction chair.
That wasn't a mistake. We talked about it at the meeting, and Brad asked me if I would be willing to take that chair, and I said yes.
Brad was not present.
Hmm?
He was not present.
Brad was present at the meeting, and this was discussed at your guys' agenda prep meeting.
There was a swap.
Brad was in person.
But in any case, we are trying to make sure that all directors get a chance to chair at least one committee. And Yvonne has not been assigned any committee, so we are trying to change.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just was
I
confused.
can't remember Brad being present at this committee meeting. But any case, but the bottom line is that Brad also wrote an email to me that because he has a full-time job, he wants to reduce his load of work over here.
You should be the alternate.
So we are changing some stuff. So Yvonne is the chair.
Not if she's the primary.
So are we taking Brad off of all the committees?
We're going to try to do that slowly, but let's do one at a time, please. We're going to make Brad as an alternate. Carmen is the second person. And who else is over here?
That's it.
That's it.
Jim is on the committee. Or no, Jim is off the committee then?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry. Jim is off the
He's
committee.
busy with the finance committee. That's a whole bunch of work.
Okay.
So I would much rather you focus on that. Yeah.
So Yvonne Horton is the chair.
Chair, yes.
Carmen Pacella is the member, and Brad Reinhardt is the alternate. Is that correct?
For now, yes. In case we want to make more changes, we'll do it later, at another month or so.
Okay, any other
Okay.
changes?
Any other changes? I don't know.
Martin has one.
Martin, you have a change?
Yeah,
of some-
broadband, we know that, I think you're coming off of there because you're already like a president on every committee. And John Cornell is now GRF representative on the committee. And we're taking advisors at John Cornell off of there and Debbie Dodson. And
Wait, slowly, one at a
Oh,
time.
no, it's already on here.
Yeah,
It's already
okay.
stated on here.
Martin,
No,
yeah,
but
you're taking me
I-
off completely.
Let me finish my sentence if I
Okay.
could, please.
Yes,
I
yes.
want to put on Joel Sigmund as an advisor
Okay.
and Chada Naresh.
Gonna have to
Chadda. Okay.
He's gone.
Naresh?
So he is running for the election this Friday. So I would hold off on putting him on there because he could possibly be United director.
Okay.
Which election?
United vacancy.
Okay.
Chada is running.
Can't, he
Okay,
can't
so-
be an advisor if he's on.
No, because you already have assigned United directors as delegates already on your committee, so you
No.
can't have him as
Then
an
just
advisor.
Joel Sigmund then.
Can you
as an-
spell his last name for me, please?
Sigman, I think.
Got it.
Thank you.
So,
That's for-
So it's Jim Cook and Joel Sigmund are your, got it,
Thank you.
advisors.
And my other question is, as of right now, for the, I believe it's the Energy Ad Hoc Committee.
Yes.
So you have you have two third directors already on there, Donna Rand Zostack and Howard Fox, yet you still have S.K. Park as your advisor. So we recommend you remove him as your advisor on that.
Okay, he's a director, he can't be an advisor.
Yeah, is that the rule of thumb?
Yeah, because
that if you're-
at that time, this was only a GRF only ad hoc committee. But
Well,
then
we want to open it up to the mutuals.
But now it's open up to the mutual, so you have Donna and Howard Fox on there.
We
right
have from third Donna and Howard.
Yes.
And so we don't need SK Park
No.
then. Then remove him. Thank you.
Can I
a good-
ask a quick question? to
Yes.
Refresh my memory here.
Go ahead.
So the alternates, they still go to the meetings, but they cannot vote, is that correct? No.
They don't
What's-
have to go for the meeting in case I am the alternate and you cannot make it. If we are on the same
But I
committee,
could, but as
you
an
just give me a
alternate,
phone call and say, please, can you attend for me?
okay, but as an alternate, I could still attend.
You can
those.
still
Yes.
sit in the public.
okay.
We'll throw some peanuts at you.
Any, you don't
Thank
even
you.
have to be an alternate. Any of the GRF directors can sit and
Attend
listen and
any
attend the
committee.
meetings, but they cannot vote.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
they
you,
cannot vote or sit at the dais.
okay.
Okay. Did we miss anything? Are we,
Yes, can we get a motion and a second on this, please?
No, we don't have to read it.
we don't have to, okay, you
I-
got it?
I move that we accept the resolution of GRF committee appointments as amended.
Any second? Second. Thank you, John. If there is no objection, then committee assignments are accepted.
There you
Okay.
go.
You. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so are we are now at the end of our
Business?
business. Do we need to do the reports if we want to? Or,
do the finance.
okay,
Let's do finance.
so do we want to take a 5-minute break?
If we're only gonna do the finance, let's just do the finance and
I
is
think,
that,
One at a time. What did you say, Bunny?
I want to take a 5-minute break.
I could use a 5-minute break.
Okay. So please take a quick 5-minute break.
I second that, Bunny.
Thank you.
Yvonne, we'd like to move on. Jim, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. So let's start the finance report.
Yeah, I'm going to start with some remarks. The 2025 audit is in process. To meet our obligations per the trust, it's going to be done the 30th of March. I think we're really, thank you. I think we're really blessed on the audit committee. We have 3 CPAs. Let me find that so I don't forget names. Candace Tisdale is the chair of the committee, and she's a CPA and a extremely capable people. And we have the treasurer from Third and United are on the committee, and they're both CPAs. So relative to good oversight of the audit, I think we're well positioned. The 2027 budget development is underway, and our guidance has been provided to Steve regarding a little more rigorous budget development than we've had in the past. In the March and April timeframe, we're going to be bringing up resolutions to the board, to the Finance Committee and the board, to move the trust funds into the reserve fund so that we can actually, they're there and they're spendable. And after the audit is completed and we have a bottom line on the whether we're over or under for 2025, which we're expecting to be overspent by about $1.8 million in 2025. So in the April timeframe, we'll be bringing back forward a resolution to move to cover that from our contingency funds. And our contingency funds currently are about $2.8 million. So 1.8 is going to make a decent cut into it. Finally, as the Finance Committee, again, like the Audit Committee, we're blessed in the Finance Committee. We have the 2 CPAs, the treasurer from Third and United on the board, and we have an advisor that's a CPA. And if you haven't had a chance to sit in on the Finance Committee meeting, let me assure you that the CPAs dig deep. They don't do a surface evaluation based on the data that VMS provides. They dig down and ask some really probing questions that, with all due respect to Steve, put him back on his heels and sends him off to do research. So I think we're in good position on the Finance Committee of some really talented people to keep a close eye on our books. That was my intro. The actuals and budgets, you can see on your slide that we have really looking at the budget level, the assessment, we've non-assessment revenues were up a little, so I'm trying to remember what the, yeah, I have to refresh myself now that but we're only a month into it, so it's going to take some time to develop any kind of trend on it. But it looks like the variances are minimal. Next slide. The utilities and telephone, that was a carryover of that we're in the positive, and that's a carryover from overpaying in 2025. And so we get the advantage of it in 2026. The clubhouse, this is prepaids on the clubhouses and rentals and events. And in the next financial report, we'll spread those out through the year. This is an anomaly because a whole bunch of things were dumped into January. Outside services, was favorable by $112,000, primarily due to the timing of invoices for work at the golf courses. So those invoices will show up in that positive will be reduced or evaporate. And the material supplies was favorable by $57,000, primarily due to the timing of material usage. Unfavorable employee compensation. Here was a case of, make sure I got the right one. Yes, tree maintenance. Tree maintenance was applied to operating costs where it should have come out. It should have come out of reserves. So that will be adjusted, and we'll see the difference next month. Repair and maintenance is unfavorable by $274,000, and that is generally the front-end loading of our licenses, software licenses, and technical support. So that will flatten out over the year, and it shouldn't be seen as a serious problem. It's more of just a front-end loading of those costs. Okay, next slide. This is, a repeat of what we see time and time again: the golf course revenues, clubhouse rentals and fees, broadband. With 1 month, we're going to be looking for trends as to whether the revenues are consistent with our expectations. Next slide. Again, employment compensation is our big item. Cabling and infrastructure, repair and maintenance, outside services, and fuel, and of course insurance and professional legal activities. Next slide. The reserve only, interesting enough, if you look down at the total expense line, nothing has been invoiced on reserves. The budget, well, two things. Let me drop back up to non-assessment revenue. You'll see in a later slide that there hasn't been as many homes sold, so the transfer fee, we're falling considerably short on the transfer fee. That's the non-assessment revenue. We're on slide 5. So there's no variance in assessments, of course. We have a negative variance on the transfer fees. So,
Assessment revenue is not transfer.
Non-assessment revenue is, my understanding, and I'm pretty sure, is transfer fees.
No, we collected $490,000 in transfer fees for the year, or for the month of January.
Go ahead, say it again.
We collected $490,000 in transfer fees for the month of January.
Didn't we? Then I'll have to, I could be mistaken. That was my understanding. Non-assessment revenue was that, but we should see it. I won't see it here, but I'll check with Steve on it.
Isn't it like golf fees and things like that, non-assessment revenue? I think so. It's anything that we get money from that's not directly tied to assessments, so like golf fees.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should spend your.
Number of resales is on page 6.
No,
yeah, but I'm just saying.
No, Gene is right. I shouldn't get too far off my script. The revenues, non-assessment revenues were worse by 221 combined with total expenses. The unvariable revenue is due to less manners sold. That's what my note from Steve is. But I makes more sense what Gene is saying, that reflects golf course and those kind of things. So I'll talk to Steve about it. As I say, the note that I have says that came from the facility fees. So thank you. And the resales for 26, comparing periods of 24, 25, and 26, 49 versus in the 60s. I'm not sure if the interest rates are a factor in it, but
It's nothing to do with that.
hopefully that'll recover, because 2/3 of our reserve funding comes from the transfer fee. Next slide. I think the balance as of the end of January of $28 million in it, but one of the numbers we should concentrating on is well, it doesn't reflect it here. I apologize. The fact of the matter is, I just was talking to Steve a few hours ago, and while we have $17 million in the trust, which will come across to the reserves, our work in progress is in fact not 10 million, it's closer to 17 million because with carryovers from previous years like broadband. And so I need to work with Steve to reflect and work in progress, not only the 26 work in progress, but the work that's come over from the previous year. My notes, and I just sat down with Steve a couple of hours ago, is that we're at about 49% funded at the start of this year, and 31 December. Yeah, but then you turn out and you spend 17 million this year. If in fact we spend all the reserves, that'll take us down to a funding of about 39% at the end of the year, which is still close to the 40% goal that we have. So the reserve funds are in good shape. One of the things I've asked Steve to do, and we're going to hopefully see it next month, is I asked Steve for a reserve schedule. We have the reserve line items. I want to make sure that we have a plan to have those reserve items done in 26. In the case of 25, we were left over with, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but multi-million-dollars worth of funded work from earlier years not done. And I'd like to have a sense. I don't mind if they get pushed into the next year. I just think the board needs to be aware of what percentage of the funded items in 26 will be performed in 26. So I've asked Steve to give us a schedule for the reserve funding activities. Is there another slide? Oh, and this is encumbered funds. This goes along the lines of reserves, of showing where the money. Now he's showing here 19 million. I heard a little while ago was 17, but broadband being the largest, that we've committed $11.5 million to broadband and about $3 million to GRF facilities. As the treasurer, I need to get my hands around it, but every time I look at a number like remaining encumbrances, 2 hours ago I was told it was 17 million. I look here and it's almost 20 million. So somehow we need to get down to a single set of books that says what the correct number is. So that's our encumbrances for 2026. And this gives us a breakdown between equipment funds, facility funds, and the trust funds. And as I say, in April, I want to move the trust fund. Well, there's two things I want to do, but I have to bring it before the board. I want to combine the facilities and the equipment fund. It's an arbitrary split, and it makes it difficult to keep track of the level of funding. And so I want to combine those two into a single fund, and then we're going to move the trust facility funds into it, so we'll have one fund to track for reserves. And according to this, we're sitting at around $40 million. In the contingency fund, we have about 2.8 million in. That's it.
So, just one comment. The trust facilities fund is already in the reserves, okay? That is part of the reserves, and it can only be spent on clubhouses and things that are in the trust. That's it. Now, you can't mix trust and operation. So you can't take equipment and put it in operation. You can't mix the two. Believe me, I know. And I'm not even a director person, okay? And not the numbers, but I've talked many, many times. The boards have tried to mix the two, and they've been advised that they cannot.
Yes.
Let me be clear. The lawyer said at our meeting on Friday that all property of GRF is part of the fund.
That's not true.
Well, you tell the lawyer that. I don't
because
care. You talk to the lawyer. You keep bringing this up.
We don't need to yell at each other. Please, be control.
I'm done.
Yes.
Not to put anybody on the spot, but what jumps out to me is what we're talking about in slide 5, which is the non-assessment revenue. If we go back to that, $221K right off the bat, that's a huge number to be off. Do we know why? Are golfers not playing their rounds of golf? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know.
But I mean, but that number jumps out to me as if we're budgeting, if that trend continues, we're going to be over $1 million off and not, and I just would like to know why.
No, that's a
Can
good
we
question.
have Steve stop by? Not just now, but upstairs.
Close.
Yes,
I think he already is going to stop by at the end of your closed session, so you can address
yeah,
it.
okay.
Especially since club fees, you just said were pre-loaded in. That was one of the reasons that you said over here.
Or prepaid,
Right, so I would think that you'd be seeing
positive.
or at least, you know what I'm saying? Because we're front-loading all of those fees that we got in. So that's a question for me.
We can, if we have concluded the finance report.
Excuse me? Yes, that's it.
Okay, we are going to move forward. Yes, Marie?
I think Jim is the only one I recognize as having been here at the finance meeting other than myself. I want to tell you, I was so impressed with the level of work you're getting from that committee. And I just wanted to reiterate that and encourage you to visit there, and you will see how well this particular finance committee is now doing their fiduciary duty to watch our money. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. With that, if we are done with the committee reports, we will recess till 12:45.
May I suggest you guys do a working lunch, because you guys have a very, very long closed agenda. So maybe 15 minutes, so at 12:30, if that's okay with the board.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
got our marching orders.
Did we mention we're retired? Just pointing that out.
Right.
You're not retired, you're just tired.
And tired, yes.
Okay.
Thanks for keeping us on track again.
So what?
Submitted, you know, an amendment that showed that